You know what? You recently sat down with Kodak back and you had a conversation with him about his drug use. Well, let me ask you a question. How do you determine who, I mean, if they reach out, you're willing to sit down and talk to anybody, chop it up, have combo with anybody that reaches out? How do you go about who you sit down and talk to and impart wisdom on?
Oh no, you can feel that shit. You can feel it. Because when you're doing it, you can just feel it, you can spirit, and you know, I still know what's going on. Mm-hmm. You're moving around, you know what's going on. And everybody with these artists is sad. Most of they teams and managements are pussies. They got a bunch of yes men around them. A person is not, they care more about getting a check off of them than this person living. These people don't be giving a fuck about these young bloods because they don't come from it. So they don't understand it. Now the ones that don't come from it and they're afraid of it, cool. But if you come from it, it's your duty to put the check in on them. Like, come on, man. Somebody got to be in line to get check. Everybody scared. I done came with some joints. I'm like, damn, everybody scared of this? Yo, my man, what you doing, nephew? Oh, what's up? What is you doing, man? What type of drugs you using, man? I done walked the rooms on people like that. Like, damn, you bigger than this, man. You know what you got the babies, you got, and that's a lot of them, but you know, you just feel the energy of what to tell, you know.
How, so you kind of touched on this, a circle of friends. And I'm a firm believer that you have people in your corner that tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear. Mm-hmm. Now, you said something very interesting. Because see, if I tell you what you need to know, you're going to stop the bus, Wallo, and ask me to get off. Bro, I need that reflective shine, because when you walk up in the club, I'm with Wallo, they see Wallo popping bottles. Hey, I ain't Wallo, but I'm with Wallo, so I know what comes along with that. Mm-hmm. I can't ask you, I can't tell you what's real and say, Wallo, man, you effing up. Because you're going to stop the bus and ask me to get off, and now I can't get no reflective shine.
But see, Wallo is only popping pure fuel. I'm not going to pop the bottles, baby.
No, I'm just saying.
You make sure you go get that. Official hydration drink to fill up your system in the Chicago sky. I'm owner. But listen.
The tropical punch. Mm-hmm. He's drinking a watermelon.
Yeah, but I don't drink. I don't smoke.
No, but I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That if I tell you the truth, you're going to stop the bus, you're going to ask me to get off, and now I can't go with you. You're not going to
That's not always the time, but you know what? They got to double back, because sometimes that don't always happen, but it need to be done. Because they'll come back when they're in prison or whatever happened, or somebody, they're going to come back, but somebody got to do it. Somebody got to do it.
Celeb, you've been to prison.
Yeah.
And you weren't famous, so you in G-pop.
Yeah.
You got Diddy and you got R. Kelly.
I was in GP, right?
Right.
But I wanted to be in PC some days because it got a little brutal in there.
I can imagine.
Yeah, we wanted to slide up in PC like, it's a little, this day, too many stabbings, man. Let me just, y'all got some space back there? Y'all need somebody to move? Y'all need my cell? Some days I wanted to be in PC.
How difficult, how different is it for a celeb being in a situation than a regular civilian?
I think it's different. It depends on what environment you in. Federal, state, it depends. I just think, I never seen nobody come in there and them have any problems that was celebrity when I was in prison.
You knew some celebs that came in there when you did that?
Yeah, some came through, but it wasn't like they wasn't on their level.
Right.
That's a megastar. People will be in there just fanning out sometimes. You be shocked, man. Dudes be in jail, man. Everybody, it ain't all what the movies play out. Right. Especially if you ain't got no problem with nobody. You know what I mean? But I ain't saying somebody won't press you, be like, yo, man, I need this money. Send it to me. I don't know that, but.
But that happen? Do that really happen?
Yeah, it happened. It happened.
To get protection, you got to get protection in there?
No, I ain't saying you got to get a protection, but somebody might press you, man. Somebody might be doing life. You might come in there, you might have had to get money, not even on that level.
Right.
And you might got to send somebody, and people might got to get some people some money, that's all. Yeah.
Damn. Let me ask you a question. Is it true Gilly started the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast? How did you get out. So how did he have the foresight and the forethought to come up with $1 Million Worth of Game and say, you know what? My homie just did a bid.
Cousin. No, this is what happened. I'm going to tell you what happened. When I was in the joint, he was doing $1 million worth of game on Instagram.
Okay.
2012. Let me give y'all $1 million worth of game. Boom. He was popping it.
Right.
So when I get home, see, one thing about this is like this. The great thing about me and Cuz, we know our rules. I'm more of the researcher. I'm more of that person. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get with you, Cuz, when these people start talking and we got to get legal involved, we got to go sit down, then I'm going to call you. But I'm going to go do that.
Okay.
You sit down, you do what you going to do. You did enough. You build a whole following before I came home. I'm going to add value to it because I'm one of these type of players. Right. I'm a player like this. If your name is on the marquee, Shannon, mm-hmm. and I'm really about you, I'm going to get your water. I'm making sure you right. Damn, what you need, man? You see how your brother came over here? I don't know who that brother was.
Yeah.
Made sure you was right. It was no ego involved.
Man, I ain't finna be no dude, boy. I ain't doing all that, Wallo.
No, I'm just saying, see, that's your problem. That's why you gotta go back down the way. Okay, come on, you ain't going on the road, baby. Go home. See, that's why you gotta go home.
Okay.
But that's the problem. I knew we had different parts to play. That's why we work so good. You know what I'm saying? So one day, he already doing it on Instagram. We doing our thing. We had already had content on Instagram, just the everyday content, riding the car, all that type of stuff. I'm up 4 o'clock in the morning. I like to read articles. I think it was on Apple. I love reading articles to get information. So it said, Spotify allocate $400 million to podcasters in the first quarter of 2019. I called him early in the morning. I said, yo, he all, man, what the yo, get up, read that article. I just text you that article. Read that shit, read it, please, cuz. He read it. So when he read it, he called me back. He said, yo, we got to get this shit rolling. We got to crack out the mics, talking about podcasts.
Yeah.
At that time, Maurice Correct, that's my homeboy, brother from another. He used to always call me like, Wallo, you and Gil got to start a podcast. He'd call me and Gil, y'all got to start a podcast, whatever. This is the first time that this dude woke up. And I'm like, he called me back, and I'm like, I'm gonna talk to him later. He called me back. He was like, cuz, we got to do it. Crack the mic. He gave out all that money. That day I called my homeboy, Nick Rich, graphic designer, said I need a logo. That afternoon he had the logo. I called my attorney, Shay Lawson. I said, Shay, I need this trademarked. We get the LLC, got everything done. Got the LLC done, all that shit. Boom. April 17th, we dropped the first episode of $1 million worth of game. It went #2 in comedy on podcasts on Apple and #4 in all categories in like 7 hours. I said, we got something, baby. We got something. And we just started knocking. I said, cuz, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get a deck created, and I'm gonna take all our social media, and this is the business of podcasts. I'm gonna take our social media following, because he had a million, I had a 500,000. I said, I'm gonna take our social media following, I'm gonna put that on the deck, and I'm gonna tell sponsors, people that wanna be sponsors, I'm gonna tell them this. If you sponsor on this show, every time we put a clip up on our page, because $1 million worth of game, that's just gonna be a $1 million worth of game page on Gilly and Wallo page, we're gonna tag sponsored by Shannon Sharpe show, whatever, whoever you is. He said, all right, do your thing, cuz. I said, all right, I got you. One of the first places I went was to a funeral home. I go to a funeral home because I went to this funeral, right? Boyd's funeral home, all right? And Asia was like, she was at the funeral on license, nice looking sister. But my homie, that nigga looked like he was still living in the casket. I said, you bad. So I go there, I said, listen, I got a package for you. My sister from another mother, Mary, she hooked up the decks for me and the different entries of sponsorship, right? So I go to her, I said, listen. She said, yeah, I want to do something like this. I want you to market this joint. And this is when I'm just learning and creating my personal business of podcasting. So I said, all right, I got you. She paid me, I think she probably gave me like 20,000 for 4 minutes, right? A minute, this is how I was selling it. I was selling minutes by, you get on each show, you get a minute worth of advertisement. Your logo gonna pop up, your number gonna pop up, everything gonna pop up, and I'm gonna run it down. So she said, all right, cool. Pay me the money. I said, all right, let me go. I went and done the ad. By the time I got to the second ad read, because we only do 4 shows a month, 1 a week. By the time I got to the second ad read, she called me, Wallo, stop. I said, what's up? She said, I ain't got enough work. I'm getting too many bodies, baby. I'm getting too many bodies. The episode, come on. This episode of $1 million worth of game is brought to you by Boyd's Funeral Home. One thing about life, you're gonna die one day. And when you die, you wanna be laying in the casket looking like you living even though you're dead. You wanna be looking like you're gonna get up out of the casket. You wanna be looking like, wow, I wanna look like that, even by the living while you laying in the casket. I'm breaking it down. She was like, it was that. Next thing, Springfield Hyundai. I go to them, bang, they say, listen, we gonna give y'all 25,000 a month. 4 minutes, back, let's do it, baby. I'm coming back, Gil like, I said, yeah, baby. I wasn't going off of CPMs and all that other stuff they were doing. I'm creating my own industry. In business, you gotta know your value. When you bring value to value, it increase your value. I knew that we was valuable. I knew they wanted brand visibility because we was cultural.
Right.
But I'm also a good partner, whereas though I wanted to be mutually beneficial. We doing business, I need to make sure you getting taken care of. Forget what you giving me.
Right.
I'm not gonna feel right if I know, damn, Shannon gave us all this money, man, and we didn't do what we needed to do.
Obligation.
That's not business.
Right.
So we popping it. It just kept popping. One day I get the most scariest call in my life. I'm in the crib. Phone rings. Answer number. Just before when I was answering numbers and I didn't know what it. I mean, I ain't had no money then.
Right.
So I said, how you doing? This is Wallo, right? I said, yeah, this is Wallo. Is Gilly around? I said, yeah. He said, this is about the podcast. I said, all right. Call Gil. Yo, man, got somebody on the phone. He said, hi, Gil, how you doing? He said, yo, what's up, man? Gil, like, who this, man? You know, Gil B. He said, hi, I'm Courtney Holt. So me, I'm a vicious researcher. I'm like this one on the phone. I send it to Gil, screenshot. I said, oh shit, this dude that ran it, he's the head of Spotify at the time. I'm like, I'm saying to myself, how you get my number? In culture, you don't gotta ask nobody to do nothing for you. When you pop and you hot, the people that need to find you gonna find you. It ain't about nobody reposting you. They gonna find you. I don't know how you got my number. So now I'm on the phone and I'm like, he said, what do you guys want? I said, what you talking about? I said, no. What do you want? He said, no. How much money do you guys want? Now I'm stuck because I don't even know what to tell him. Mm-hmm. I'm stuck. But it's like, I said, we want ownership. We want all our IP. We want to keep owning our IP.
Yes.
He said, we want your IP. So how much money do you want? I'm on the joint texting Gil. This shit getting spooky, Gil. Because I think this like some movie, some shit that, you know when they tell you go into the other room, I'm like, oh, this shit. I'm like, oh shit, right? So I'm like, all right, okay, can I have my lawyer? He said, I'm going to text you the email. Let's get on the email chain and our legal will get involved. When they start talking about legal, you know this shit is real.
Right.
It's game time.
Yes.
I'm like, bet. Gil was like, who was that? I said, I don't know, man. I sent him all this shit. I'm like, that shit was scary. I was sweating on the call because I mean, I ain't never had, because I'm still trying to come up. That's when we got in the game. We had them. Did we negotiate with them? We negotiated with Barstool. It turned us up. But at the same time, I'm already getting the money from our own sponsorship. I'm already doing it. I'm getting a bunch of money. We doing it. We killing it. I'm doing all the brand deals, all that stuff. We was killing it.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party because you know we like to do something before 2 something.